So in terms of your responsibilities with Cinemassacre, I know that you've done editing, you've done writing, you've helped curate, I guess, or help choose what games to play. And you still do that. You help decide what games go into a nerd video.
Well, the best way to explain that is really if you watch James and Mike Mondays, that's essentially what we always used to do.
Yeah.
We just didn't do it on camera. So back when we James did the famous TMNT episode, let's say James and I sat and played the game the same way we would in James and Mike Monday, and we wrote notes as opposed to doing a video. We were taking notes and stuff, and then I might have come up with a couple ideas or whatever because I'd be playing for a little bit and he'd play for a little bit, and we'd go back and forth, and then we'd take notes, and then he would then take all of our notes and he would go and make a script out of it, which is what it always is. So a lot of times it's not that I'm writing it, but some of my ideas might make it into one of his scripts when he puts it together because we're playing the game together.
So you might have a funny comment. He might say, "Oh, that's not a bad idea," and I'll put it in the script.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. So
and then obviously you've done a lot of the title cards, especially a lot of the early episodes where you had the title cards in front. With me or something. The classic AVGN episodes.
The classic AVGN episodes. So what happened with that was that was really early on. James had made the Simon's Quest video and the Dr. Jekyll video in 2004, and then in 2006 we had a job together in 2005, and then in 2006 James was hanging out over my house, and I was like we were playing the Karate Kid and a bunch of other games, and for whatever reason, James decided to make another episode, and that was going to be the last of the trilogy. This is the Angry Nintendo Nerd trilogy, and that was the last one. He was going to make it better than the first two and put a little work into it. He made that video, and I thought that was the best thing that he ever made ever at that point. I thought it was so hilarious, and I was like, oh my god, you got to make another one, because we had this day job that we worked together, and he's like, nah, it's a trilogy. I'm not gonna. That's enough of that. I'm gonna make something else. And I was like, no, like this is really funny. I'd really like to do another one. He's like, no, really, it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna make any more. And then I kept it up, like, because I was with him every day at work, and I was like, we really like let's do another one of those like Nintendo videos. And he's like, all right, like I'll do like one more. Like, do you want to pick one? So we were hanging out later at his place. Which was the old nerd room from that time, like the TMNT era, room. We were hanging out there, and he had a stack of a shoebox full of Nintendo games, maybe like 15 games or something. I went through them. He's like, which one do you want me to do? And I picked out Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then we played it together. And I remember one of the things that we had a whole joke about. James and I had a whole conversation about the nailing Roger Rabbit to the cross, and that actually was a whole conversation that we had. There was supposed to be something about a Jesus Christ punching bag and this whole fucking big thing, and we recorded it. It was like a nerd and rant thing, but what happened was the audio cable was not plugged into the camera, so that whole like end rant was like lost. We were really upset about it. So the Roger Rabbit episode was supposed to have a big funny end rant, but gone because of anyway. So that's when I first really started getting involved as far as playing the game with James, and that was the first 4 episodes, and then those were on the website, and then actually I think it was Bootsy, or it might have been Bootsy, or it might have been another friend that was like, hey, have you seen this YouTube thing? And I was like, what's that? And he sends me a link or whatever, on the computer, and I go to it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, they got like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe intro on there. That's awesome. Like, and like, I can watch like old commercials and shit like that. And then I'm like, all right, I'll sign up for a channel. And I'm like, oh, you can upload videos, just learning about what YouTube is. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll make a channel, and I'll throw those Nintendo videos on there that I love so much. And so I type in a channel. I'm like, all right, what am I going to call this? All right, I'm uploading James's videos. Okay, James, it's about Nintendo, the Nintendo nerd, whatever. Sign up, YouTube. 10 years later, that's what it is. I put literally no thought into it. I didn't think anybody was going to look at it. What it actually was I was taking the videos off of Cinemassacre, putting them on YouTube, sending James a link because I wanted him to see how easy it was as opposed to using QuickTime files, because on an old website...
the QuickTime embeds, the original viral video.
Because it used to be QuickTime embeds, and they were really slow. You had to wait for them to load, and I wanted to be like, hey, James, there's this other way to do this, and that's what I was doing. I was like, hey, we can put out videos on this thing and then show them around. Next thing you know, the channel's got 16,000 hits or something. And I'm like, wait, what? There's a glitch. Something's going on.
Mhm.
And then, but I'm like, wait, it's not a glitch because there's all these comments on here. I'm like, James, this is getting a lot of attention. Like, there's like 16,000 views on this Simon's Quest video, and he's like, there can't be 16,000. That's like not even possible. And then we find out it's for real. Like, there's 16,000 people watch this video, and the next
And back
day,
then, that's a ton.
oh,
In 2006,
yeah,
that's a ton.
and then the next day it's like 40,000 views, and the next day it's like whatever it was, 60,000, and we were like, what the fuck is going on? Because before that, we would put something on a VHS tape and send it out to a film festival and never hear back.
Do you imagine, or could you have imagined? It sounds like without you, the whole idea of AVGN could have died out before it got popular.
Absolutely, because James thought of thought of it as a trilogy, and he didn't. That was it. He wasn't going to make more. It was the AVGN trilogy, and that was it. And
so it's funny because it took outside sort of encouragement for him to keep going with it. To say, hey, this is a great idea. This isn't just a little skit that you can do a few times. This is something that has legs.
Very, very much so. And I don't think James saw that at first, and I saw it. I didn't see it as like, oh, this can be a series or whatever, but I saw it as, this is really funny. I want you to make more because I think they're fucking funny. So I wanted him to keep making more of them, and it took encouragement for him to make the Roger Rabbit one. But then once it went online and we saw 16,000 views, then James was like, I'll do another one, because we never had that kind of attention in our lives. Because I used to post something on DeviantArt, because I like to do drawings and stuff, and it would get like 2 views. Or 3 views, and nobody looked at it. And those 1 or 2 views that I got, I was like really happy that somebody like looked at one of my drawings. And then for 16,000, I know it's like millions and whatever now, but at the time it was like, I remember seeing that number. I was like, 16,000 people just watched this video. I was like, it blew my fucking mind that many people could see something that we did. And here we are. I remember at the time, Smosh, I think, was the #1 channel, and they had 300,000 subscribers, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I think at the time maybe we had 10,000 subscribers or something, and I was like, imagine if we ever had 300,000 subscribers. That would be crazy to have that many. And now there's people, there's the PewDiePie and all that. He's got whatever, 1 billion subscribers, but we have 2 million subscribers. That's so much more than I ever thought we'd ever.
Yeah, I guess you're answering my question. I was going to say, would you ever thought you would have got to 2 million subscribers?
No.
Now I know 10 years ago YouTube. It's totally different now. There's probably 20 times the amount of people using and watching YouTube than it was 10 years ago, maybe more.
I never thought we would get to 300,000 subscribers, and now our second channel has 400,000 subscribers. It's crazy.
Great! Your second channel is more than my only channel. That's good. But
well, what are you gonna do?
I'm coming hard on 200,000. I'll get there this year. So in terms of your channel growth and material on your channel. You have once a week. You have a James and Mike Mondays, which is your Let's Play series. Mm-hmm. Now, originally, I believe that came about because you needed content, partially because James was working on the movie, and so you just needed more content for the channel. But now it's sort of spun off into its own thing, and now people obviously look forward to it now. And you actually have a Blu-ray that came out. So how did it go from transitioning to just from, I guess, a pre-written content that was we'll just say more thought out and putting in 40 hours per video versus putting out Let's Play videos? Was it something that you looked forward to doing, and how has it changed the channel?
It's changed the channel for the better because we're getting a lot more views than we used to actually. But overall, it might not look that way because I know AVGN videos get millions of views and whatever. But now that we're putting out consistent videos, our channel actually gets a lot more views than it used to. But the James and Mike Monday show actually started because I was like, we need more content with James in it, and we need more content that has video game content, because that's what most of the fans are there for because of AVGN. They want to see retro video game content. And I was like, how do we put out retro video game content more frequently? Because we need something consistent. We need something like a TV show. Like when you watch Seinfeld, to tune in every week on Thursday at 8 p.m. We need something like that. And so it took a while to think of something. And my first idea, I was before James and Mike Monday, I was like, hey James, you do Board James every once in a while. What if we did a show and we called it Video James? And we do like 1 or 2 minute things where, let's say you talk about Super Mario Brothers, and we make it a short video, and I was actually going to write the scripts, and it was going to be scripted, and like a minute talking about Mario Brothers, and then the next week we could do a minute talking about Contra, and it would be video James. It would just be James on screen, scripted thing, and that was going to be there, and they were going to be short. That's why how we'd be able to get them out every week. That was the original idea. But then I was hanging out with James, and randomly he really wanted to play this game, Alien Storm on Genesis. Did you know Alien Storm?
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's an arcade game. It's overhead. It's basically ripped off of Aliens. You have to rescue prisoners before the aliens get them.
So we're playing Alien Storm because James wanted to play it, and he's like, "Why don't we record this?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure, okay." So we recorded it, and then it was like, and then I edited it together and all that, and then I was like, this is good. Like, why don't we try doing more of this? And it was really fun. And he's like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So then we made another one, and that was the first episode of James and Mike Play at the time. I changed the name because eventually I thought, like, I want to do this every Monday because it was working out, and we were getting a lot of views, and people were enjoying it. So I was like, let's do this every week and see how long we can do it for. And now we've been doing James and Mike Mondays for a couple years now. It's crazy. It seems like yesterday to me that we fucking started doing James and Mike Monday, let alone ABGN starting 10 years ago. Now it's been several years that we've been doing James and Mike Mondays, so it's awesome though, because it's a lot of fun. And I know I want to say about like the Let's Play stuff. I know that a lot of people have something against Let's Plays, and I can understand why, because scripted content is more like you put more work into it. It's scripted, so it's like it's more concise. It's written, so it probably has more merit because it's scripted, but playing the games together, we have so much fun. Just you can see us, you can watch the videos. We have so much fun playing the games, and I actually think of James and Mike Monday not entirely as a Let's Play. I think of it as a hybrid between a review and a Let's Play, because we do a lot more than your typical like Let's Play show. If you watch watch our like Rondo of Blood video, or when we're talking about Famicom stuff, after the video's done, like I'll get shots of my consoles, and I'll get shots of the games, and I put in a whole bunch of extra like work. They're like, we're in the video. It's not just the gameplay footage. So it's more of a show than it is just your typical here's the game footage, and you talk over it. It's also edited down. It's not just we talk for 10 minutes and then it's divided into chunks. I edit it. We'll play a game. We just recently played Metroid 2, right? And we played that game for 8 hours. Well, I chopped that down into like a 30-minute video. So it's more. I think it's more of a show than a Let's Play, but it is also a Let's Play. It's weird. It's weird. It's kind of a unique thing, I think. And it's
Did
fun.
you face any personal backlash when you started doing that? And I guess in general, when you started appearing more and more on the channel?
Not with James and Mike Mondays, because by that point, people knew who I was. But I faced a lot of backlash when James started to do the movie, and I started to put out videos on my own. I didn't originally want to do that. I was really happy with he was just making the nerd videos, and I was helping him out with that, and I was totally fine with that. And we were also working on Monster Madness and movie reviews, and nobody really knew who I was other than, hey, there's that guy who's the Joker, or there's that guy who's Jason Voorhees, but nobody really knew who I was. And then James went to do the movie, and I was like, well, we also have this website over here. What are we doing with this website and this YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers? It's like we can't just not have content for like a year for why you make the movie. And he's like, yeah, that's true. What are we going to do? I'm like, I guess I'm going to make videos. And he's like, I guess you are, And
it's on you, Mike.
Yeah, basically it's on me to keep it going while he goes and shoots this thing in California for 6 months. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, and I was really uncomfortable and nervous to do it, and I can understand why, because you have James, he's the face of Cinemassacre, he's an angry video game nerd, that's who people want to see, and now here's this new guy, and whenever you're the new guy, it's like, well, who the fuck's this? Where's James? Get this guy out of here. So I knew that going into it, so it was very difficult. So I started doing videos. I did like top 10 NES obscure gems and Super Nintendo, and I did some drawing videos. I did there was a drawing app, draw something or whatever that game's called, and I did all these different videos, and I started putting them up. and some game reviews, and I did a thing on the Sega Game Gear and all this stuff around this time while he was shooting the movie, and a lot of people liked the videos, and I also did the glitch videos too. I was doing those
Sure.
Mike's game glitches and all that, and so I'm doing all these videos, and a lot of people liked them, and a lot of people were like, "Fuck you, where's James?" and whatever, it's fine.
Did you feel pressure to sort of do videos in the same vein as James, just so you, you didn't think that you
Um,
were putting out content that was totally different than what James had put out before on the channel?
I didn't know what I was doing, to be completely honest. All I knew was I'm gonna have to make videos about video games because the only thing I know. I know about retro video games. I did some movie related stuff, but I'm more of a video game person, and I was doing kind of stuff that I thought James might do, like I'll do a video game top 10 because that's probably the type of thing James would do. I was trying to fill in the gap while James was gone. I was like, oh, here's a top 10 about video games. Here's a whatever, here's a review of some PlayStation game or something like that. And I was just trying to make anything video game related just to keep content coming out so that the fans had something to watch while James was not available for 6 months.